G'day guys, welcome back to another Grab a Quick mod with the Dad Bod. Now today's going to be one of those essential mods that, well, if you're a weekend warrior, travel school holidays, or like us, traveling full time on the road, well, sometimes you don't get the best reception, even if you're with Telstra, which Baby Cakes is, aka Deb. Now I know that there are a few options out there on the market where you can boost your signal, but if you've got no signal to boost or minimal signal, well, it means diddly squat. Now Deb is on Telstra, and for the most part, it's been okay, until we get to small coastal towns or a little bit more rural. I'm on Vodafone at the moment. I've got 3 bars on 3G, which means when you try and do something on the internet. Now, so far we've been managing okay, as the Rugrats and I have been hotspotting off Deb's phone. But unfortunately, she's gonna run out of data, and well, we don't wanna run out of power by running the inverter all the time. Now also, not everyone has an inverter in their van, but fortunately for us, we do. But we don't want to use it because sometimes when you're camping, you don't get a choice of where you can put your van. And well, this spot, although it's pretty darn good, it's still a little bit shady. So we're not getting the full sun to charge up the batteries. And plus, who knows, tomorrow might be a cloudy day. Now, there are a few components that you'll need for this mod, which you can purchase online and at BCF, Anaconda, Supercheap, Repco, or JCar, depending on what's convenient for you and what component you'll need. Now, don't worry legends, this mod doesn't require you to cut any Starlink cables. It will, however, require you to have some tools on hand, which, well, being on the road, I have limited availability. So I'm just gonna have to make do with what I got. But I will show you what components we'll need, so let's get into it. Now, one of the first things you're gonna need to house all your components is a hard, rugged utility case, just like this one. Now, I got this one at BCF. It was around about 60 bucks. Now, the external dimensions for this is 345 by 290 by 145. You don't have to get this particular one. I did want to get the Bunnings Tactics one because it came in camo and looked really cool. But according to the guy at Bunnings, well, they're sold out all of Queensland. So if you're in any other state, you may have better luck than I did. Anyway, let's get on. Alrighty guys, now these next components you'll have to buy online. This is the Yaosheng Dishy version 2 original cable to RJ45 adapter. Comes with a cable, and this is the adapter here, which I'll give you a bit of a close-up as well. So we need one of those. Also from Yaosheng, we'll need the PoE injector, which looks like this. So you've got your power supply in there, LAN port, and the PoE port right there. Now to power that, you'll need a 12 volt to 48 volt DC-DC converter, which looks like this. I opted to get the 8 amp max one, so that should be enough to power Dishy. So got one of those as well. Now you're also going to need to get yourself a USB powered router so that you can ditch the big bulky Starlink router, which runs off 240 volt. We've also found that this router doesn't give you much range around the campsite, so this big bulky bugger has to go. Now we've opted to go with the Opel GL SFT 1200, which runs off USB-C. Now to power this bugger, well, we'll need a 12 volt to 5 volt DC-DC converter, which looks like this. So, put your 12 volt in, comes out to USB-C. So this is pretty good. Now this version is a 3 amp max one. So get one to match your USB powered router. Now also, you'll need a 6-way standard fuse box. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be 6-way. I wanted to get smaller, but at the time, this is all I could get, which I got from Repco. So you want to be safe, you want to fuse everything just to be on the safe side. So we'll get one of these. Now you'll also need one of these, a panel mount Anderson connector, which looks like this. So that'll power everything into your box. Now you'll also need to get yourself a panel mount battery isolator switch, which I got from JCar. So looks like this. So have one of those. Now the next component is optional, and I thought, well, if you're housing everything in an insulated box, well, you want to keep it cool. So I've opted to go with the 12 volt 80mm Sirocco fan, which I also got from JCar. Now on the outside, I'm going to put a filter on it so that it doesn't pull any big particles into your box. Alrighty guys, now that we've got all our components, it's time to install it into our rugged case. So let's get to it. Now, setting out your components will depend on the size of the box you have and also the size of the fuse box that you actually bought. I could have got a smaller one, but this is what I could find at the time. So let's start organizing everything. So we've got our USB-C powered router right there. I'll be putting my DC-DC converter 12 volt to 5 volt here. Now I will put the DC-DC 12 volt to 48 volt converter there. I'll be putting the kill switch there. Well, obviously it will go on the outside. I'll put the Anderson plug next to it. Next, I'll be putting the PoE injector. So I'm going to orientate it this way. The 48 volt will go into that. 12 volt will go into the fuse block, or the fuse box, which I will put in the middle there, like that. And then the Dishy original cable to RJ45 adapter, I'll pop on there. Now, this one will face on the outside. I have to cut a hole in there. And then obviously I'll have to cut a hole on the side there for the Anderson plug and the kill switch right there. So that's basically how it's all going to be set out. Now I've also made myself a bit of a bracket for the original cable to RJ45 adapter, which will go on there and it'll help secure it. Pop that on there, that'll go down there. And this will pop outside the box there and I'll hook everything up. There'll also be a data cable that'll go from the PoE injector to the router right there. All right, so let's get securing everything. Now I've secured these components down on a bit of plywood covered with marine carpet and then Sikaflex the whole lot down so she ain't going anywhere. Now with the 12 volt to 48 volt converter, I'm going to bolt it to the bottom of the box. Now if I had a smaller fuse box, I could probably flat mount it onto the board, just like that. But I don't, so for space wise, I'm just going to pop it on the bottom there. Now to secure the router, I've got a router mount, which I'll show you. It easily clips off just like that. And then I'll be able to secure the router mount just on the board there. And then you get your router, you easily just click it in. Just like that. And then obviously plug everything in. Now these also have antennas that easily pop up. And I've left enough room here so that I can use the switch on the side there if I ever need to. Righto guys, well here it is. It's fully installed and secured down to the marine carpet covered plywood. Now I've been running this for just over a month now just to see if there's been any kinks, any glitches, but it has been working perfectly. And it hasn't been drawing that much at all. Now I've turned off the angle, I've unhooked the solar so nothing is going in or coming out. So let's check to see what it's drawing at the moment. Well, it does vary depending on if it's looking for signal, if the motor's being used, I guess the cold temperature. It's not cold now because it's full sun, but we are drawing about 3 amps. It fluctuates between 3 to 3.5 amps, sometimes 4. But yeah, I guess that will be depending on, I guess, the dishy there and the router. So they'll be both drawing power there. So let's come and have a closer look. Now I found that these plugs here have been fairly good out in the open. There hasn't been any water ingress or condensation come through there, which I was quite happy with. Now I have screwed the 12 volt to 48 volt step up converter there to the box and Sikaflex the back for a bit more security. You can have a look here. None of the screws come out because, well, it's quite thick plastic and really the Sikaflex is holding it there in place. So everything's screwed down. Let me get a wider view. So everything's screwed down, secure, nothing moves. Obviously these are the antennas. Lift them up. Sometimes I just leave them up and close the box. The foam keeps it in place there and doesn't foul. So overall, I've been very happy with this system. It's very portable and very rugged. Now I've got the plug there for the dishy, and I put a couple of extra clips on there just to secure the cable there so it's not dangling or get accidentally ripped and decrease the integrity of this plug right here. I have Sikaflexed around the side there. Everything looks all ridgy-dig and specky. Have a look there. No issues there. There we go. We got the 12 volt to 5 volt to USB-C, which powers the router. No issues there. This one's a 3 amp version. Like I said before, you can get a smaller fuse block and then you'll be able to mount this down on the board there. But this has been pretty good. Now if I want to add extra accessories, I've got a few more spots there that I can fuse it to. Very rugged, very secure, very portable, and super duper cheap. All right, now there are a few Aussie companies out there that do a ready-made box just like this, which is pretty much exactly the same, but you're gonna be paying over 1,100 bucks. Now don't get me wrong, their products are amazing and do the job, but you are paying for convenience, which does play its part. But this is super simple, super easy to assemble, and at a fraction of the cost. But I'm all about doing it yourself, doing it on the cheap, and getting exactly the same result. Alrighty guys, well there you have it. Another Grab a Quick mod with the Dad Bod. Now if you like this video and you think we're doing a bang up job, well don't forget to hit that like button, which you're gonna find over there. Yeah, ooh, that does feel good. Now, if you want to get notified of any upcoming tips, tricks, hacks, and mods, just like this little beauty here, well, don't forget to hit that notifications button, which you're gonna find, just over there. Yeah, that's the one. Guys, now if you want to get some more raring to go than Deb on date night, well, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, which you're gonna find, here. Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, it's pack up time, so I better get going because, well, I need to pack up and we've got to get on to our next destination. Anyway, catch you guys on the flip side. Now, if you want to check out any more of our cool ass mods, well, you can click up here. There, yep. I'll probably put something up here as well. And maybe something a bit down there. Anyway, catch you guys in the next round. Bye.